Okay, here we've got a good WACC question, weighted average cost of capital. Mitchell's Auto Body has a cost of debt of 7%, cost of equity of 11%, and a cost of preferred stock at 8%. So we may be used to WACC questions where we just have a cost of debt and a cost of equity. Now the equity's been split into basically common equity and preferred stock. The firm has 104,000 shares of common stock at $20 a share, 40,000 outstanding preferred stock at $34 a share. That makes sense. Preferred stock is always going to be more valuable in the market than common stock. The company's debt is a $500,000 bond issue, and it sells for 102% of face value. If the tax rate is 37%, find the WACC for Mitchell's. So this has a couple wrinkles in it, but in general, it's a pretty common weighted average cost of capital question. So let's think about what our formula for weighted average cost of capital is. It's always the cost of debt, so I'll call that RD, times the debt over the value of the firm, that's the percentage of debt in the firm, times 1 minus the tax rate, because debt is affected by tax, plus the weight of our equity. So since equity is split into preferred and common, I'll write this as common over the total value of the firm times the cost of common equity, plus, no tax to consider there, plus the preferred value over the total value of the firm. That's, again, the weight issued to preferred stock times the return that we get on preferred stock. Add up all those weighted returns, and you get the weighted average. Okay, so let's work through the problem now. First thing we're going to need to do is find the actual value of the firm. So that's going to be all of the value in the equity plus all of the value in the debt. Let's do the debt first. So it's a $500,000 bond, but it's $500,000 isn't the value in the firm. We always want to deal with the actual market value. So what's it selling for? It's selling for 102% of that face value. So the value for the debt portion is $500,000 times 1.02. It's basically selling at a 2% premium from what the face value of the bond is, and the face value is just $500,000. Okay, so that's the debt piece. How about the common stock, or the common equity? So it has 104,000 shares at $20 a share. So that's nice and easy. And the preferred piece is also part of the value of the firm, 40,000 shares at $34 a piece. Okay, now I'm going to add this all together eventually, but right now I'm going to keep it separate. So this is 510,000. That's the value of the debt. So we'll kind of write that as debt. Plus 104,000 times 20 is 2,080,000. This is our common stock value. Plus 40,000 times $34 a share is 1,360,000 of preferred stock value. Great. So you can see, if we're just taking a snapshot of the value of the firm and sort of how they're financed, you can see it's predominantly financed through equity. It's not extremely highly levered when there's only $500,000 of debt and over $3 million of equity. Okay, so now let's toss this all into our WACC formula. Hopefully we can get the value out that we want. Okay, so the return on debt, or the cost of debt, is 7%. Now, I'm going to write it as a percentage right now, but we're always going to actually punch it in our calculator as 0.07. Always the percentages will be in terms of decimals. The debt is 510,000 over the total value, which is this stuff all added up. I forgot to do that. This stuff all added up equals 3,950,000. So that's the total value of the firm. So that's going to be our denominator all the time. 3,950,000 times 1 minus the tax rate, which is 0.37. So that will equal 0.63, that bracket. Plus our ratio of common stock, which we said was the 2,080,000 divided by 3,950,000. And our return on common stock is the cost of equity, So that is 11%. I'll write it as a decimal this time so we can show what we're doing. And the last part is the preferred stock. So we said there's 1360000 of preferred stock out of the 3950000 total value, and on the preferred stock we're earning 0.08. Okay, so punch that all in the calculator and we get 0.0911623. Again, try and keep it all in your calculator until the end, which is 9.12%. We'll round it to 2 decimal places for our weighted average cost of capital. Not too difficult a question. They're really easy to pick out because they have to give you the cost of debt. They don't have to give you the cost of equity. You can use the M&M, the Modigliani and Miller formulas to find the cost of equity, but they'll also have to give you the proportion of the value of the firm made up of debt and equity. So fairly easy questions to pick out if they don't explicitly say find the WACC, and then just follow the formula and make sure you're really careful punching it all in the calculator. You can always send us more questions, info@arnoldtutoring.com. Thanks.